Hey guys, Andy here. So it's another vlog. It's funny, I've just watched the first vlog I did 2 years ago, which was all about my first Sportive, which is just like a cycling event, bit of a get together. It's chipped and timed, so I referenced in the first video, which I'll try to throw up in the corner, I referenced a few times that it got a bit of a race in some ways. Although I don't see it as much a race now. This will be the third one. So there was the one I did a vlog about. I did one earlier this year called Where's Cambridge, and that was an 80-mile ride. That was the longest ride I'd done at that point. Actually, I say it wasn't really seen as a race. The guys I was with were pushing really hard, and it made it really tough for me to keep up with them. And in fact, after the second food point, I had to change a tyre because I had a puncture, but I just let them go because I thought, I don't want to be pushing as hard as I was pushing at that point, but it's still quite a quick ride for me, averaging, 17 plus miles an hour over 80 miles. But after I did this first one 2 years ago, 50 kilometers, which for me at the time was a really long distance, and I remember kind of preparing for it the week running up to, sort of trying to plan my eating a bit better and planning my training so I didn't wear myself out too much for the Sportive on the Sunday. These days, 50 kilometers it's nothing to me at the moment. So I signed up like a year and a half ago to do the Sportive the next time it happened, this time for the 100 kilometers. But it didn't happen because of COVID. And it's finally now come around to it's going to happen tomorrow morning. And so I'm doing the 100 kilometers. And again, that's not a particularly big deal to me. That's 61 and a bit miles, or 62 miles, 62.2 I think. And I've done that 14 times already this year. I've done 14 metric centuries this year. So it doesn't worry me the time of it. It's going to take 4.5 hours probably. Depends how long I spend munching at the food stations. But it should be fine. In fact, I did 75 miles 3 days ago with a fast friend, really pushing. It was the biggest relative effort, as Strava calls it, that I've ever done by quite a long way. So I've gone a little bit easy the last couple of days to give myself a bit of a chance to sort of push again tomorrow. But anyway, so I just thought, well, let's do another vlog then. I vlogged the first one, and this is the second one. This is the sort of the next stage up. Things are a bit different now. I've been cycling 2.5 years, so previously I'd only been cycling 6 months when I did it. I've been cycling 2.5 years now, but I'm stepping up to what I think more serious cyclists will do. So the 50k, I think I was riding with like families and parents and the kids and stuff, so therefore I did have the fastest time by like 7 minutes, but it wasn't really against anyone competitive. Tomorrow I'd imagine there's some pretty quick guys doing the 100 kilometers, and I'm a bit more kind of aware of my ability. Even though I've been cycling 2.5 years, I ride with some really fast people that could be doing, or people like that will be doing this Sportive tomorrow. So, almost certainly I will not be having the fastest time tomorrow. And it will be a little bit more about just the fun and exploring some new roads. Having said that, some of it comes down into Epping through Epping Forest, which is where I was on Wednesday when I did this 75 miles. And then the latter part of it is probably a very similar route to it was 2 years ago. But still, it was a really nice route 2 years ago. So I'm really looking forward to it. Interestingly as well, I realised watching the video of 2 years ago, it was really cold then. I had my long sleeves on, long shorts, long full leg bib things, and I was talking about probably the coldest I've ridden in a long time. And it looks to be quite nice tomorrow morning, sort of 18 to 21 degrees. There might be a little sprinkle of watery, rainy type stuff around 11ish, 12ish, 1ish. We shall see. So maybe I'll take my shake dry jacket with me just in case, but otherwise I'll be just like short sleeves top and regular bib shorts. The bike's a bit of an upgrade to what I did it 2 years ago. My camera's a bit of an upgrade, the GoPro that I'm using. And it is an early start. It's funny, again, 2 years ago I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, I got out of bed at 5:30 and made my breakfast and whatever. I don't want to be doing that this time, so I've prepped my drinks bottles with the carb mix in it. I've made my lunch for tomorrow, so I'm going to worry about that. I've checked the tyre pressures on front and back. I've synced up my head unit. It's got the route. I've even examined the route and looked for any climbs. Because if there's any climbs in there, I want them starred on my head unit so I can see them coming. I know how long they are. I can kind of gauge the effort that I need to put in. So I think I'm all prepped and ready to go. So, almost amusingly, pretty much the same thing that happened 2 years ago has happened this morning. I woke up at about 4:30, can't sleep, what's it now? Oh, let's get up and have a coffee, watch a bit of Ted Lasso, get ready, nice and early I suppose. So on the road, pretty much on time. Google Maps saying I'm going to get there at 7:33, which is fine. So far, some rather suicidal wildlife. Had a squirrel run out to brake pretty hard. I think I missed the little fella. I couldn't see him on the road afterwards. And then some pigeons. Pigeons just sit in the road, like playing chicken with you. Flew away like the last second, but I mean, they're okay, people. They're okay. Anyway, so yeah, we're on track. Very quiet on the roads. The more eagle-eyed, or the regular subscribers, will realise I'm in a different car. I got a new car this week, intentionally, to be able to do that, so that when I'm redundant next year, I can travel, I can take the bike with me, I can go places, and I can cycle places. Why not? Right. I need to change gear with my left hand now, so I'm going to sign out for the minute. So the first problem I had was they're having a lot of work done in their car park at the venue that you set off from. So they had said, oh, you might need to park somewhere out. They'd given 2 locations, but as I sort of was leaving, some other guy was unloading his car, and I checked with him. He said, yeah, you can park here all day, it's fine. So I was only a couple hundred metres away from the actual start place, which is here. Registration was very quick and simple. Wandered straight in, no queue. Gave me my number, which also has like the timing chip on the back of it. So these Sportives are all done electronically and automatically. Your time is recorded as you pass through the start and then the stop place, which we'll see very shortly. And also there's a little sprint later on, well, at about 45 miles, which about killed me. But anyway, yeah, so it automatically registers anyone going through here with their little RFID tag. So there we go, we have officially started, and I remembered to start my Wahoo straight away, which is a good thing. The guy in the blue here, actually, I was riding with him all the way up to the 48 mile food stop, him and others. Seemed quite a nice guy, he was a bit talkative, had a bit of a chat. Saying he was thinking of buying a Canyon and how did I find mine and all this sort of thing. There she is. Bye bye, baby. I'll be back soon. Well, so soon. It's interesting, I guess I wanted to set off in the first group. We were the first group to leave. And I wanted to be out with all of the first guys, just because I wanted to be back fairly early to see the Formula 1 basically, and I'm thinking, okay, so there's 100k, you're setting out at 8, I should be able to go by 2. As it goes, I easily got back for 2. I was see. So quite quickly, the sort of the faster guys from that initial group that set out, we're a bit strung out here to be fair, but I think when we got through, I think this is Ware still, which is the initial town that it all starts in. But once we'd got through that and into the countryside, we kind of bunched up, kind of peloton style, because you do travel faster if you get in a nice bunch. As long as you're not in the front, you're benefiting. I mean, they say 30% easier. I mean, these two guys seem to be the faster of the group, so I kind of jumped onto their back wheel to an extent. But at the climbs, all these other guys caught us back up again anyway. So we then just sort of stuck as a group. No one said anything, we just sort of twigged, yeah, this is the right way to go. Let's stay together. I think there's a guy with different coloured socks. You'll see him at some point. I think he's got a luminous yellow left sock and a purple right sock. And as I was chatting with him a bit later on, general opinion was that he was the fast guy. Mind you, I think it was this guy in the blue just here. Someone was pulling real hard at one point, but then they dropped off. They just, I don't know if they just couldn't keep the pace. I think they'd said to somebody, I've got to go wait for my friend who's a bit behind. This chap here in the Flandria, he's commented on my Strava saying good ride. He's a nice chap as well. Here he is, luminous yellow and purple sock. He seemed to be the one that everyone thought, just try and keep up with that. He did, he was on the front. Oh, and there's the guy in the blue that I was saying how he shut off, but then he did vanish later on, so not too sure what happened to him. It is interesting, I'm being dragged along at a much faster pace than I would normally cycle, but I feel guilty that I'm not taking a turn on the front. This guy passing a bit close, doesn't look so bad on the camera, but that felt very close as he drove by. If you're not a cyclist and you are a driver, then I see a load of car. What's that? Are you doing the 1 or the 150? 1. I hadn't realised at this point that almost everyone else was doing the 150 and just me doing the 100. The guy in the red Flandria was doing the 100 as well. So, I'd had a go on the front, I'm not back on the front hill, so I had a go on the front, and that guy with the Bora Hansgrohe shirt came back past me within, I don't know, a minute. Okay, me on the front, I'm not fast enough. Someone else, he took over and I had to boot trying to stay on his wheel. But then I did go back on the front and I did a good I think I did about 5 miles where I was pushing on the front. So I was quite pleased with that, because it was quite a pace. I was a little bit annoyed because I asked the guy that was sending us off at the beginning, how far in is the food stop? Because he said it's just one food stop. He said, about 60 kilometres. So I'm like, okay, in a 100 kilometre race, I'm in miles, that's at about 36 miles. It wasn't, it was 48 miles. So when you're trying to manage your fueling and knowing when you need to have a gel to keep the energy going, it's actually quite important to know when the food stop is. So I was actually a little bit annoyed. Here we are at the food stop. This is just after the sprint. That's where you can see the van there. There's a photographer. And that is where it's a sprint, but it's actually I set off way too quick. It's actually quite a long sprint, and I was really suffering as you come up the hill. Oh. So I just went away from the food stop, which for some reason on a 60-mile ride is 48 miles in, which I find a bit weird. And I also found out that I was riding with everyone doing the 150 kilometre route. They've set off about a minute or two ahead of me. I can't let them go, better to let them go, to be honest. Out of the way. And so I've only got 11 miles to go. I realise I've not really been vlogging because the pace has been pretty mental. And to keep up with people and stick on people's wheel, I just can't really stop and vlog. I'll not even stop, I won't be able to cycle at that pace. So 48 miles in, our average speed at the minute is like 19 miles an hour. And now my mission is to try and keep that as high as I can for my last solo stint to get back home. It's been a nice ride, the sun's come out, nice route, good pace, seen nice guys, had a bit of chat with a few of them. There we go. 6 miles to go. And it's tough now. This guy in the pink is doing 100. He set off after me. He's going to get back before me. So there we go, all done. What time is it now? 11:46. So I set out at 8 o'clock. It was only actually 60 miles, and 100 kilometers is like 62.2. So I've been up and down this road 3 or 4 times to get up to the 100 kilometers. My average speed was 18.8, so that's one of the quickest rides I've ever done. And I can feel it, my legs are pretty shattered, I'm pretty tired. I want to get the engine on and get the air conditioning going. The guys I was chasing for the first 40 miles were just a quick pace. And I managed to hold a pretty good pace for my own last 12 miles to keep a reasonable average. But there we go, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, leave your comments, I do read all the comments. But for now, my name's Andy, I'll catch you all again soon.